Ready to Love. This is for episode 3. I thank you for tuning in to my recap review of Ready to Love. And this episode started with a man complaining, talking about they can't find no good woman. It used to be a time where women were doing all the complaining, saying like, where are all the good men? All the good men are taken. All the good men are married. All the good men, where are they? Where are they? Now the men are on camera and everywhere else are crying and whining, talking about they can't find no good woman, saying that good bodies are a dime a dozen. Those are easy to find, I guess, especially in Miami. But they saying besides the fine bodies, where are the fine minds, people? I don't know. Are the men looking hard enough? Are they there, but they still trying to chase after the fine bodies? Is it really a shortage of fine bodies and fine minds when it comes to women? I don't know. But they said from the neck down is good, but from the neck up is where it is lacking in the dating world. But y'all can write down below what you think. Are these men just blowing smoke? Are they asking for things that are already here? They're being too picky? I don't know what the answer is, but for this episode, we might have to give out a few awards. One for Best Actress to Charisse, because that girl knows how to act. She knows how to turn it on and off when she needs to. She knows how to turn down that mean girl act when she wants to impress and stay on the show just like she did last week. They told her she was at the bottom. She turned that mean girl act off just long enough to stay on the show, and she turned it on just long enough to have that date with Samson, and then she turned it off for Mike. This girl, I don't know, who is the real Charisse? I think the mean girl is the real Charisse. I think when she's being nice, that's the acting. And when she's being mean and the mean girl, I think that's the real Charisse. We also gonna have to give an award to April for the worst date ever, because I don't know who told her you confront a man when a man don't like you. I know when a man don't like you, the last thing you do is confront him. What you do is you leave him alone. There's no need to confront no man that you know that doesn't like you. Why are you confronting them? Leave them alone. And the last award, I'm going to give it to this Kadian, a young lady who was eating them ribs on the date with the corn on the cob. Worst date. Worst food to order on a date. Women don't eat no ribs, fried chicken, none of that on a date. If they ain't got nothing else where you can sit down and eat with a knife and a fork, then you go hungry. That's horrible. I wouldn't be eating no rib on no first date with a plastic plate and standing up. People got to remember, these are interviews. These are, putting your best foot forward, and you coming eating a barbecue rib on a date, waving it, talking about, let me tell you how I got a problem with you. Was she gonna hit that man and assault him with that barbecue rib? Worst food choice on a date. But according to her, it wasn't no date anyway, because who knew that Kadian and Swayze had been hooking up off camera? I didn't know that. That was new to me, but I guess she didn't consider her little time with Mike even a date, because what she said she was doing was, let's go out here and talk so I can tell you how I got a problem with you. Once again, another woman having to confront a man, telling a man why I don't like you or why don't you like me. Leave it alone. There's no need for this type of confrontation. There's too many other men here you could be talking to than going up to the ones that you already know you don't like or he doesn't like. So you have to tell him, I got to tell you why I don't like you. That's just looking for trouble. But that day with Charisse and Samson, I say it's all acting. I think she put on a good face to do whatever she did to try and get one man not to vote to eliminate her. And she had a good date with Samson, just enough for him not to put her at the bottom, and so she wasn't in the elimination pool. So her acting skills paid off, but it ain't gonna last long. It didn't even last for the rest of this episode, because right after she left with Samson, she went right on over there and started digging into Mike. I don't really know what everybody has against Mike. Can somebody tell me? Now, Charisse was over there talking about kids or baggage. And he was correct. If a man had turned around and said that a bunch of men, that women who were married and divorced and had kids were baggage, we'd be in uproar. In fact, there was a whole man out there called Kevin Samuels who was calling kids baggage and all that, and he took a lot of heat. So I don't know how we can flip it and say that she's allowed to say that Mike is baggage. Now, here's another thing. Did I miss something? Is Mike, does he have his babies with multiple women? Is he like a Dante of last year, whoever else? Or was he married to a woman, they had 3 kids together, and they got divorced? Because I'm not quite sure what are all the red flags with Mike. Because the only red flag I see with Mike so far is I think he is kind of lying to Brandy that he would be willing to have another child. Because I don't think he's really interested in doing that. But he does seem genuinely interested in her, but I'm not for sure he really wants that other child. But besides that, what is the other problem with Mike? Because there's a lot of women, they seem to have a problem with him. I mean, I understand that Cherie says she doesn't want to marry a man who's been married before or doesn't have kids. That's all. That's your preference. If that's your core values, I don't have no problem with that. I think the problem is when you start calling and saying the kids are baggage. She went too far. So far, Mike is saying the only one he likes is Brandy because she's the only one that knows how to talk to him. All these other women are coming at him from the left because that April certainly came from him. Now, April did good on that trapeze act. I mean, she was good. She was up there, flexible, everything else. She put them young girls to shame. Her trapeze act was very good, but the act that she needs to work on is the act mixing and mingling with men. That's the act that she needs to work on because that midair act she was doing, it was actually very good. It's the act with the men and women on the ground that she needs to work on. Because this idea of confronting Mike over the fact that he wasn't interested in her, I don't really understand the purpose of that. And he said, yeah, if I'm not asking you no questions, that means I'm not interested. Exactly. So I don't know why you confronting a person over not talking to you. They don't like you. They're not interested. You're not their type. Whatever. It's no need to create any conflict. Just move on to somebody else and try to make a connection somewhere else. I'm not sure why we need the confrontation. She really looked foolish. And then at the end, when she did get eliminated, because she ended up getting eliminated, when she left, she did that same old deathly exit interview that I can't stand when people do, whether men do it or women do it. And they asked them, have you learned anything? Or would you do anything differently? And she said, I wouldn't do anything differently because I was myself. But then stay out there. This is the problem where people get stuck. People get stuck in situations 5, 10, 15, 20 years because what they say is it doesn't matter what the outcomes I have, I'm not doing anything differently. I'm going to stick with my game plan. So what happens is they continually stick with a game plan that has failed because they don't want to change anything about themselves. To walk away from any experience and say you don't learn anything. Listen, I learned something from every experience I'm in, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, whether it's a good outcome or a bad outcome. There's always something you can do differently or better. I don't like when people walk away from something like this. You came on a whole show and you walk away saying, I wouldn't do anything differently. I didn't learn nothing. Girl, good luck to you, April. Good luck. And April wasn't the only one getting in Mike's butt because Kadian, she came at him full force with that rib in that corner of the cob. She was like, sit down because I want to sit over here and talk to you about why I got a problem with you. Listen, anybody walk up to me and tell me I want to talk to you and tell you why I got a problem with you, I said, you don't need to. I'm good. I don't even care if I don't like you. I don't care why you don't like me. Like, I don't care. So keep it to yourself. But she felt she needed to confront him. We saw some of this with Kadian last episode. She was showing little sparks of where, she's kind of assertive. And I guess she feels she needs to be out there. But she came at him telling him, let me tell you why I don't like you. So I guess her whole issue with Mike is that he's introverted. She called him Mike the Turtle, that they got to draw him out the shell. I think what she's saying is he's not really showing any interest in anyone, and that's rubbing people the wrong way. Maybe that's what the issue is. Maybe it's because Mike isn't approaching other women, and he doesn't like these other women. They now feel like they need to confront him. The only one he's showing interest in is Brandy. So maybe that's what Kadian was talking about. But he was like, you aggressive and I don't like your questions. And she was running around talking about, yes, she is aggressive with men because she likes to ask the pertinent questions, talking about when the last time you had sex. She said, you know what? If they can't take my question, they must be weak men. I don't like this either. This is another excuse. This is what people use when they don't want to change. It's around the same line as I intimidate you. It's what people throw back. It's not that I'm overly assertive. It's that you're weak. See, then I don't have to do anything differently. I can just calling you weak. And what you need to do is you need to get tougher. And I can just be this person I am. That's like a woman saying I can weigh 500 pounds. And it ain't my fault that I'm 500 pounds. It's because you can't lift 500 pounds. You the problem. So because I can't lift 500 pounds, I'm the problem. But you can keep weighing 500 pounds. See, this is what people do. Let me put the work on you so I don't have to do any work. And that's what Kadian says when she tells a man he's weak because they can't handle her assertiveness or aggressiveness or whatever else you want to call it. It ain't her problem, it's your problem. But let me tell you another problem Kadian got. She don't know what the word interrogation means. Her and Swayze both. They may make a good couple. It sounds like they've been hooking up behind the scenes, but the word is interrogation, not integration. So the fact that they both can't pronounce the word, maybe they made for each other. And maybe you should stop doing something that you don't even know how to pronounce the word or spell the word. The word is interrogation, not integration. I don't even want to know what integration is. Is that even a word? But Swayze was trying to tell her, hey, you need to tone it down. First, he was trying to give it to her sweet, saying, well, one of the men didn't like you. He was, well, not one of them, some of them. He said, they didn't, oh, no, not some of them. All of them don't like you. And they think you were intimidating. Swayze, don't be helping her out and making it seem like, once again, it's the problem with the men. Stop telling women that they intimidate men. They don't intimidate men. Men don't want to be around them. He was even trying to say at first that the men are scared of her. Ain't nobody scared of Kadian. It means I don't like you. If you come to me and I don't want to talk to you and I turn around, it's not because I'm intimidated by you or I'm scared of you. It means I don't want to talk to you. I don't like your conversation and I don't like the way you speak to me. And that's all it means. It doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't mean that I'm intimidated, and it doesn't mean that I'm scared. But she came in with her little Daisy Dukes on, and I guess they got a whole vibe going on. Maybe that's a little vibe that Swayze likes. I would have never pictured these two together, but it seemed like they really hooking up behind the scenes. So he seems to like it. He seems to like her poking and her bantering and her back and forth. Well, I hope he can keep her on the show. I hope he can tone her down and keep her on a leash a little bit, because he's saying, listen, boo, if you keep this up, you're going to be off the show real quick. But another person this episode that came after a man that don't really like him was Shakira and Zoe. Another person, like, obviously Shakira knows Zoe not really feeling her for whatever reason. And I know she was doing like all nice and sweet, but she was kind of nice, nasty. She was kind of sweet, shady, whatever you want to call it. But she could tell that Zoe wasn't that much into her. And he was trying to backpedal all the time during the date, but she kept holding his feet to the fire. And I don't even know why people do this. I'm like, if a person's not interested in you, I don't understand the need to confront them on it. But anyway, she was doing it. She was trying to be sweet and everything, but we know that connection ain't going nowhere, because Zoe's not interested in her. And the act she pulled when they did meet, it didn't change his mind. You see, when Samson met with Shakira, when Samson met with Charisse, at least Charisse changed Samson's mind. She turned him around. She put on her little act. But when Shakira met with Zoe, she didn't change his mind, and he didn't change her mind. They left right where they started, not interested. But Looney's back, and did you see that Looney walk, that Looney stroll? We might have to call it the Zoonie walk. Girl, I thought she was going to pop a hip. That girl is strutting. But the one piece of advice I'm going to give Looney is watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Once again, here you are on a date. You're using an MF word. You're using a lot of curse words. You don't know these men. You do not know these men. You do not know if that's a turn off or not. So this whole being authentic, I'm going to be myself like I'm at a barbecue. Last time I said Dominica act like she was at a barbecue screaming and yelling. Now we got Kadian over here eating barbecue ribs like she's at a barbecue. And now we have a Looney over here dropping F-bombs and all kind of things on a man she barely knows. Can we stay in a space in the beginning of making good first impressions? Now, I know Justice said Looney is a vibe. That's what he told her. Everybody's saying Looney is a vibe. But maybe they haven't gotten all parts of Looney, because I think Looney going to be a little character. I still like her, but I think she needs to tone down her language. And she might need to just, stay a little refined. Like I told you last episode, one thing I am getting from this Miami crew is there's some ghetto-ness going on up in between these women. There is absolutely some ghetto-ness going on. But I like LJ. Is that his name, LJ? I liked him and Looney together. They seemed like they had a nice little vibe. He didn't seem like he was taken aback by her F-bomb, so that's a good thing. But I'm interested in seeing how they progress. I'm still interested in seeing this thing progress with Trinika and Randall too, because Trinika's still one of my favorites. I'm still not a fan of that hair, but Trinika dropped down in the comments and let me know the reason she had that hair is because her wrist was broken and she couldn't comb her hair. So she slapped that crochet or whatever in her head. She had never had it, and she admits it was a bad choice. It was a bad choice, bad first impression. I hope the man can look past it, because I actually think Trinica is probably one of the best women on this show, to be honest with you, so far what we've seen. I think she's flying under the radar. I think she's the least appreciated so far. I like how she handled herself on that date with Randall. Randall was a little shy. He seemed a little nervous, and I think she did a couple of things to make him get a little bit at ease without being too assertive or aggressive with him. I liked her little flirting style with him. So hopefully that made him relax, so that he can relax a little bit more and become the one more, making more of the initiation with her. But I'm interested in seeing how these two work it out going forward. But that's it, y'all. What you think of this episode? Drop down in the comments and let me know. Talk to you later. Bye.